Okay, guys, welcome to Matthew's Gardening Service, surrounding all areas of Melbourne, north, south, east, and west. Coming to you now, going interstate, Queensland, New South Wales, Tasmania, and so on. They're the three concepts. So, just so you're aware, I'm a very busy boss. I've got a lot to do. So you might think, okay, as a gardener, he'll come in, be a gardener, and that's his job. But no, it's definitely not. I've got to do a lot of payroll, bookkeeping, accounting. I've got to make sure tools are always up to date. I've got to make sure that there's enough oil, string. I've got to make sure that the warehouse is clean. Green waste is dealt with. Invoices are dealt with. So all office admin. And then I've got to worry about insurances and payments and things like that, work cover, pay slips. And also I've got to worry about you guys, instructions, supervision, and knowing your job. And once you guys know your job, you can take a bit of weight off my shoulders so I can focus on being a real boss and not out there all the time. So just so you guys know that this job is very, very busy. I'm inundated with calls. I've got 2 phone numbers ringing hot stick, flat chat. So yeah, welcome aboard. Like, just so you know, I'm a very busy man, and there'll be times where I'll say this, I've learnt this in life, and I'll apply it. It is pretty much, it's pretty much, before you ask the question to yourself before you go and ask somebody else. So you most likely will be able to answer the question yourself if you step back and have a quick think. So I just want to apply that. I'll always be there to assist you, but you will need to conquer this job in a sense of doing your role, so everyone has a part to play in this business. So good luck, guys, with the trial. Have a look at the inductions and everything like that. It's all in here. MGS playlist under Bargain Basement Australia, which is who I am and my channel. Okay, so your channel is the BBA. So the link will be in the description. There's 2 Bargain Basement Australia, one for Dropship Wizard, which is for Bargain Basement Australia, and I'm implementing, I think, this one for gardening. So enjoy. It will go in a bit of detail. It might be unedited and a bit raw, these videos here. Sorry, but time is of the essence, which means I need to do things now. So they'll be amended in the future. For the time being, it's pretty much straightforward, standard of what I need to get out and say. But I'll give you a glimpse of what that is in like 10, 15 minutes rather than 3, 4, 5 hours worth of info. Now, all this info here, guys, will be updated in the future. So this is the first real live. Like I said, apologies. But I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. There's a lot to cover. Now, when you start up with us, you'll be starting up on an induction with a trial and then turning into 3 months probation. So you've got a bit of time to go through all this, and it will be edited from time to time. And you will, on your date, say you're working after 3 months and there's an amendment, you will need to come back in here possibly and check out the areas, okay? My legacy, my God, what an idiot I am. But anyway, I hope you get something out of all this. So, just in a nutshell, welcome aboard Matthew's Gardening Service surrounding all areas of Melbourne. Let's get straight into it. First and foremost, aware on the job. So, you get to site with me. I need you guys switched on. Really, very important. The number one thing I'll state at the start. Okay, so we're going on site. I don't need you clueless. I need you to be aware on site. Mind to go. So what I mean by this is, you know the job. What are we doing today, Matthew? We're going to do a bit of mulch, and we're going to go cut a front, back, nature strip of a property. Pretty simple day. So you go back to these videos if you need to, or I'll show you on the day. But it's the approach that you take. Are you going to work slow and stupid and chase your tail and work around in circles, or are you going to approach it and execute it? I'm going to give you a target with instructions and say, right, separate this, chop this, bundle this, and put it there, and do this and do that. No. It's going to change structure. We're doing it this way. So I need you to adapt to change, or I need you to make those big decisions in a sense that you can take ownership of your role. So we go to the front back nature strip job. I need you to be aware of the name of the client, who they are, and what we're doing. It's that simple. All right. Most importantly, I'll say with the GPS, make sure, because you guys think you all know GPS well. No, you're not a taxi driver, but this job is like a taxi driver, so you'll be driving a lot. Make sure with GPS, you turn off on your settings or whatever for the toll, so you don't want to pay for toll for an extra 5 minutes to go around, unless you stipulate that we're going to use the toll. But most of the times in your settings, you would put no toll. Make sure you're turning left and right properly and know where you're at and don't cause an accident. And what I'll say is, make sure, this is where I'll say about GPS, turn off your settings for toll. And also make sure that in your settings that you're in the same suburb. So you might have 3 different streets in 5 different suburbs. Make sure you're in the right suburb. Okay? And when you get these instructions and you've got the right suburb, if you've got the wrong street or the wrong number, you're nearby. But make sure you're in that suburb for that reason. Get there safely and drive, within reason. Don't sit there behind traffic when time is money. Get your ass there safely and slowly, but get there. I'm not saying get there fast. I'm saying just like when you're at work on site, don't sit there behind a bus for the next 10 Ks when all you have to do is get in your right lane and pick up pace. Stay on board with what you're doing. So I need people to stay productive. I need you to go there with the right mindset, attitude, making sure you know the client's name, what you're doing, and how you're going to approach it. Now, another thing I'll say about this is you take the tools that you need straight away from the van. You grab it all and you put it in one small area. Okay? Then you don't have to keep going up and back, up and back. Make sure they're in a safe environment where no one's going to trip over them and where no one's going to steal them. Okay? So very important, aware on the job and on time at work. So be punctual on time. Your time is when you start on site. It's not when you get to the warehouse unless you're starting work in the warehouse, for an example, cleaning the van, washing it, fixing tools, sharpening tools, mulching and things like that, warehouse work, or helping in the office. If not, and you're instructed to go out on site, you're subject to a few things and your time starts when you start there and then. Okay, so let's be clear on that. And when you finish the day, it finishes at the end of the day when you finish on site or on the warehouse. Throughout the day, you're clocked per time. So on time, we use an app. We can manipulate this in any way the business shall need. We use an app called TimeCamp. TimeCamp is where every state has an area where you can go into your department, into your state in TimeCamp, and you would just click start the day. So you'd go into Melbourne, click Melbourne, start. So this app will clock you in and clock you out. It's a clock on, clock off situation. It will also state that it will ask for, like any app will say, do you give us permission for this and for that? What this is saying in one of them, and I'll let you know, is it's asking for your GPS areas, coordinates. So you need to allow and accept that. And when you stop and start, and you start the day, you don't stop till the end of the day unless you're instructed by me or the supervisor throughout the day, depending on the circumstance. But generally speaking, guys, you would just come in, hi Matt, I'm here, where's my instructions? Yeah, see you later, I'm going. As soon as you're on site, you've got to start that app, start your time, clock on, and let it run. So if you're on your own, you should have your cigarette lighter or to plug in your phone. You can go to the service station, you can ask the client on site, or you can pretty much get a battery booster. At the end of the day, that is your you're an adult of your own and you need to take ownership. So upon this, you need to accept that you need to start your day, clock on and clock off. And you also need to allow your GPS coordinates, which means you can't go on your phone and turn off your location. I'm not saying we're following you, but it will show me what you're doing and where you are at all times. Now, in saying this, the reason behind that is for two reasons. One, I need to know your productivity on site at every job. So when you stop and start a job and so on. In there, I think you could put a comment about it or so on in a sense of like stopping and starting. But the whole concept is to just clock on and clock off. So I can do your payroll properly. And you're telling me you're finishing the last job now and you're clocking off right now. And that will tell me your productivity on the job. Now, when you go out on site on your own, you'll also need to take as one screen photo shot, maybe 2, not 10 photos from a distance of the property or what the job is. So if you're cutting the front back of nature strip, I'll need a one-shot photo standing from the road looking into that property at all aspects. If there's a side and you can't get it, step to the side and take a screenshot. I need to see 1 or 2 bird's eye view of what you're doing. So, example, you're coming in to cut the grass, but now the lemon tree is being cut and you weren't instructed. For 1 or 2 reasons, you're breaching superficial instructions. You're taking it upon yourself to make a quick buck on the side, which is a no-go in the business because it's professional. We don't stand for that because the opportunity is endless here. We give you the work. So there's no need for that. And what I mean by this is it's unprofessional. So, and also, it also could be OH in this issue, which means that you've breached our policies and rules. Very important that you just step back, you clock on site, you've given the card to the client, you'll be trained, you take one photo and you get to work. You finish the job and you step back and you take one photo and you're done. You don't clock off at that point, you go to your next job and then you have your lunch break, smokers and so on. So every time you go to a job, you step back, you take a photo and then you proceed and then you take a photo. It also is good for you guys because it backs you up. It tells a story of what you've done on site. And then I need to invoice the client. I need photos. So I'll need them submitted maybe to get an invoice. So I might need you to say, Matt, after you submitted this particular job, I need a before and after so I can get the money because the client is overseas. They need a photo and I've got to email it. So you'll be instructed. It's pretty simple. So you need to be compliant in that sense is what I'm saying. You need to be compliant in a sense that you're coming in with the right attitude, you're going to approach it properly, you know your GPS coordinates in the suburb, not taking tolls, getting there, handing them the card or being a regular, whatever the case may be, and then also keeping in mind that you're going to approach it in whichever manner as you've been trained, taking that screenshot photo, clocking on, and getting to work. It's pretty standard, guys. All right, it's pretty like, how can I say, every business has a way. So, no mobile calls and calling on site. Very important. If I hear a client tell me that so-and-so has been on the phone in the back and all the rest, they'll let me know. I'll be reviewed. Or the supervisor may come at site and inspect the job or quote or estimate some other works will need to be there. And you don't know, and all of a sudden you're on the phone or you're doing something negligent. You're being abrupt or you're using tools rough or you'll get caught out, guys. Just be mindful. No phones on site whilst during the car driving. So you're going to a site on site. Your mindset should be A to B to C to D home, safe. Not A, B, and I'm distracted with my day, with my mum, my sister, my work, my interviews, whatever is in your life. Your doctor. You come to work, you come with the proper mindset of a sense that you're on site at all times under my pay. So no phones and no distractions. I won't tolerate harassment, bullying, sexual, racist or religious comments. We are a team and we are equal opportunity and listen and execute. So you'll be given instructions to execute. That's pretty straightforward, guys. No tolerating, no political, nothing. It's just a work environment. And everyone should be welcome and feel comfortable to come in and realise that there are certain strategies here, and it's to keep us all safe and happy. Okay, so you'll be given an instruction sheet. It might be just a piece of paper, noted what to be done in a certain way and approach. Or I might be with you on site, and most likely, and you'll be given advice and told what to do. You're to follow suit, exactly as I state. Now, subby versus worker is in the subject. So either you'll be employed as a subby or a worker, but all people will start off as a worker. Let's just get that straight. All right, guys? And then it goes, stepping stones. And then you got the OH&S and all other dramas. So that's pretty much it, guys. But I will now go into all these videos in a nutshell, what I expect. I'll also say, before all this, employment. So in your employment, no pay if you quit your job. So if you quit your job, pretty much leave me in the desert alone. As far as the government are concerned, and me, as I guess I understand this now, you're not getting paid. Simple. You get paid for the time that you worked and honestly worked, but you don't get paid for all the bullshitting around during the day, and then halfway through the day you say, I quit my job, and then say, I want to get paid for the last 3 hours. No. Okay, there are laws about that, and if I need to question that, I will, but let's not go there because that's very rare. But I need to stipulate that. Fair work, performance and reviews. So you start off on trial, and then you go into 3 month probation, and then you are like a casual ongoing permanent. So you will be reviewed along your way, and then as a casual permanent you will be reviewed, but not like constantly. But there will be times you'll know that you're being reviewed. All right, so it's a matter of where are you at? Have you lost your way? Keeping in mind phones, GPS, on site, on times, clocking in, clocking off, the standard procedures. But you're out there on your own guys, or with a team, or you're out there in this love and life, or you can cry. So you can be in the rain and be miserable, or you can sit there and go, I fucking love it. I love the rain. I love it. And that mindset changes how you work and your spirit uplift. Okay. Bonuses. There'll be small bonuses, there'll be bonuses along the way accordingly. Award wages. So starting off on an award wage. So it's not just a gardening award. It's an award of a gardener doing other levels like light maintenance and things like that, like light landscaping, this and that, like general other work. But it falls under the category of a gardener level 1, which is $27.46 an hour or something along those lines. It will be $30 including superannuation, less your taxes. So just so you know, if you damage any tools, very important tools, if you damage any tools, pretty much what will happen is if you're negligent, which means you were rough or you broke that under your own due diligence, you're going to be docked for that, or I'm going to seek payment from you. I'm going to have to do what I'm going to have to do to get that money back from you. That whatever you did, you rode my ride on into a brick wall, laughing your head off doing a burnout. Well, mate, you're fired and you're going to have to pay for that. And just so you know, that doesn't happen, because when you will break tools along the way and it really shits you and me. But at the end of the day, that's life. Tools don't last forever. We can maintain and fix them. Check out tools and fixtures. It will give you more of an insight. I'm just saying, no negligence with tools, guys. Operating safely, holding them properly, and being professional. No time for any idiots, okay? And the time cap, that's it. So there's an introduction, as we're saying here, then the intro 1, intro 2. Then it goes into OH&S, guys. So intro and then OH&S. 2.5 meters up in the air, no higher, unless you've been harnessed. Okay? So no harness, no scaffold. You're only allowed up to a ladder 2.5 meters. 3 meters of a single story height from the ground up to the gutter is 3 meters. 2.5 is roughly estimate. Use that as a ruler. OH&S, you've got to also worry about supervision when you can and can't be supervised on site. In terms of like if you're using dangerous tools or you're just using a lawnmower. And when you can go with supervision, who's there around there to protect you? So OH&S is very interesting. And then we go into the health of like how to keep your body straight and physio. So when you go to work the next day, you're all right. And also OHS dramas, like if you're on medication, don't deny me, just tell us, and things like that, and profanity and things like, professionalism. Subby versus worker, what a worker is, what you get paid, and then what a subby is, and what's behind a subby. So like, what are the basics of a subby, and what do I need to run to be a subby? It will be amended, but these are just an induction training videos. So it doesn't have to be full on. It's just to give you an idea, okay? Workers information, subbies, and continues the blower. How to use a blower properly, guys. Blow from the front door, blow from the back, blow out. If there's too much on the street, rake it up and pick it up. Blow into a corner if it's a windy day, or don't use a rake and a hand tool. Okay, then we got the mower, lift it up high and go, no one in sight if it's really high grass. You would obviously use a weed whacker or a scythe or a knife or something to slash down that high grass and then come in with the lawnmower. You'll be trained on the site. There's this certain routine. So you're just being told, pop the mono high, no one in sight, the blade's going up, you're cutting on a higher level and you're chopping that grass down, you drop and then you go, or you go slow. Or you need to use a weed whacker and go around and weed that area. Okay, so it's all in there. How to use the right angle with the weed whacker. So operating with the on and off throttle, going slower, flicking to the left, making sure that there's less rebound, less damage, not hitting hard and causing trouble. Or the other thing would be operating on a level height, rocks below, 1 inch above, just trimming the top with our tricks of the trade, or holding that whipper slipper on a 45-degree angle and running that way, left, forward or backwards, doesn't matter, learning and how to go around a tree, 1 step around that way, 1 step around that way and done. You don't have to go around. You'll learn on site. Or holding it up on a level platform and cutting straight, or straight like that, straight cut down, nice cut clean. You'll be trained on these professional 45 level, how to keep high throttle, all these factors. And your tools and mindset will kick in and operate. When you're going, very important, danger, very slow, go operate at your own safety measure. Okay, so make sure you're safe. In final trees and shrubs, there's a lot to learn, guys, a lot. So this is just an insight once again on how to approach a tree, checking inside and all the rest. We'll go into detail, pulling ropes on big trees like an arborist job, harnessing up and things like that, or chopping V-points out, or like you never cut a tree that's going down like this, you cut it here, it'll split like a banana. If you're in front of it, it can cut you. So there's a lot of things to learn about the fact of trees. We don't do a lot of big trees, guys, so there's no focus on that at the moment. But there is a little focus on trees too that is not implemented in these videos yet. When we get on site, I'll probably do some. So the trees is you'll be trained, it's pretty easy concept, it's scientific and all the rest. Enjoy. So have a look at these important factors, right? Trees and shrubs, mulch. So there's certain ways we mulch, guys. You come in with a trailer, you drop it to the side, We drop so many and we shrink it. Now, rather than me sending out one, I can send one to the tip full load. I can shrink that, put it to the side, and shrink about 10 and send it to the tip as one. Instead of 10 times, pay $80 or $150, I'm going to pay $150, $200 out of the 10 and put it on as one. And fill up the van a lot. So there's certain ways to get it to the tip at a cheaper run. I've implemented this, guys, so that way you know that I'm employing you to do something. So rather than me sending it to the tip and losing a bit of money, and it's easier for me to just do that, I'm saying, no, hold on to it, save me a bit of money, and let my workers get a bit of pay. Because I'd rather pay you guys to shrink it down and won't cost too much once you're routine and know what you're doing. It's not so bad. Shrink a bit here, shrink a bit there, keep it under control. Okay, I'd rather pay you guys to do that, and we can use the mulch and send it out and charge. And everyone wins, and I'm paying you to go do that. rather than me just send it to the tip. So if it gets out of hand, it's going straight to the tip. But at the end of the day, guys, we've all got a place to play in this. So I've implemented that to help you guys and help myself. So in mulch, you chop up the logs, put them to the side. Hardwood, that you don't want to put the pressure under the mulch under pressure. So you put the big ones to the side that won't go through the mulch, and the ones that will be mulched to the other side, and you start mulching. It's a separation routine, so you separate it. So we might have 2 or 3 loads come in. We chop up the logs off the trees, throw them to the side. We open up all the branches all over the floor. Chop, 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 chop all the big ends or hand tool. Put them in the logs, and then we bundle up all that to the side and say that's to be mulched. Then we mulch it on 2-3 levels. We mulch it on the biggest level, then we refine it smaller, and then we can, if we wish, refine it to mulch. We don't want to do that. All we want to do is crunch it on the first level or second and shrink it down a bit. We don't want it perfectly mulched, because at the bottom of all that will be okay mulch, and I've got plenty of it. So if we need more mulch, I'll say crunch it to the third, mulch it nicely. In saying that, when you're using the crunch grinder, if you're closing the gap on third and you want that nice mulch, make sure you don't hit the crunch grinder. Open the side. Release that from their teeth that are crunching on the grinder, because you'll damage the grinder, and I've got to get another one. And if you check out my videos, what a nuisance it is to go through 3-4 different products to go back to the old school mulch and figure out this is the routine. Don't change that, guys. Close the gap, but do not let it crunch. Okay? Open the gap. So when the gap's open and you're crunching big stuff, which is what you'll mainly do, remember, when you close the gap on open and the gap's open, it will be free and loose. Make sure you close the gap just enough, 1 or 2 rounds, 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4. Enough just to crunch that and shrink that down, but not enough to be fully open, where if it gets jammed, I can't open it anymore and get it out. I'm stuck. Now the machine may be fucked. So fully open, but a little closed, not always fully open, always a bit closed towards the open, keeping sure that the grinder can access open if I need to unseize it. Very important, guys. Check out these videos. It's just an insight. You'll be trained on site, guys. And that's all there is to it. Then there's the end of a lease. So this will change your employment. You all start off on a standard wage, and then you go into subby, or you go into high pay worker, and your levels go up. End of a lease, have a look at this, guys. It's just an insight of what we do. We do rubbish removal, hard removal, cleaning windows, fixing doors, fixing fences and gates, and gutters and gutter cleaning, which is not in here, guys. All that stuff, all the stuff you would not think of, we do. You'll get on site and realise how many other things that I've picked up in this job, and the customers in demand wanting me to do so. It's the environment that I provide. I know what I'm doing. So very important to get that one big shot photo to me, so I can promote you and get you on a higher pay and get you in and out there just as the same time frame on a higher buck. So end of lease is very important. And then there's a yo, cheers, boom, 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 we're done. And the quiz, very important. And the my legacy to you. It's all crap, guys. I'm laughing about it. It's the first time. All these will be in the future amended. It's just been implemented. It's for you guys. Please take on board everything. And welcome to the team. Remember, safety and damages are the number one rule. Number one, safety and damages equals your demand, equals how much you're worth and what you're doing out there. We're all on different levels, guys, so no issues there. And the last thing is productivity equals your demand. What that means is how good you are on site will depend on how much good jobs you'll get and how much good money we make or I make and how much of a kick I'm going to give you for doing a good job. So this will all be monitored in a sense of everybody and structurally implemented in a sense that you guys have to follow suit. Important. So if I say front, back, and nature strip, start at the back, work to the front, take all your tools, put the mower in the middle, put the blower in the middle, All your tools there so you don't go up and down and waste time with the mower. Weed whack or whipper snipper the back edges of the back of the property, then the front, then the nature strip, put the whipper away. Lock the car. Go straight to the back, mow the grass at the back, mow the grass at the front, mow the nature strip, put the mower away. Walk to the back, get the blower, blow the back door. Any cobwebs or dirt or whatever around those windows that you've been blowing around, clean them quietly, just quickly, or blow the window of a car at the front, or the dust that goes on. Blow the back, blow the front, and then you're home. There's routine, guys, routine on what to do. You'll be told, blow the back, blow the front, blow that, blow that, blow that, blow that. It's routine, synchronized. When you're with a team, you will all understand each other. You may need to change your ways, guys. I am all up for that if it's under clear instructions and stated or noted or executed well. So as long as that is shown, you won't be pulled up and told back to your routine, back to what you know. Please, as fast as you can. Safety and damages. I hope this tutorial was just an insight and we'll see you on site soon. Thank you.